Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. You know what time it is. Today we'll be going over my picks for the top 10 basketball shoes of 2025. These are the best of the best performers released this year. And I have to say, this list is by far the most packed compared to all other recent years. 2022 was a fantastic year. PG6, Wave 10, their 808s first became relevant. LeBron 20, 2-way V2 and V3, Harden Volume 6, Curry 10, you name it. But they aren't even nearly as good as this year's top 10 to me. At any time during the video, please give us your top picks or go-tos this year. Your favorite 3 pairs to hoop in. How's that? Let's see. This video is brought to you by Kinetic Kings. For Encore, I probably haven't worn any shorts from other brands in like 3 years after getting their products. Just straight up fire. Very breathable mesh material. For off-court, I mean, some of these designs are incredible. The attention to details, you get a nice variety of different themes to choose from on their site. I'm showing you some of my favorite pieces from them, but there's a huge selection. Their fundamental shorts run true to size, meaning that you can get your usual short size. They'll be an above the knee fit, so that's pretty important to know, depending on which type of style you prefer. Opposite of the long and baggy shorts. If you're interested, link to shop will be in the description. I'll drop down my discount code too. Go check it out if you need new shorts. And thank you, Kinetic Kings. We'll do honorable mentions in our usual way. These are ranked in order as well. Basically, all great shoes to play in. Puma Hali 1, first signature shoe of Tyrese Halliburton, who's still in rehab, designed by Salehi Bembury. A nice and functional low top. Excellent traction from the translucent also. You get a subtle bounce in your steps and the right about average weight, also average width. Perhaps lacking a wow factor, something that truly stands out about it to make it to the top 10. Curry Series 7, for one positive change on this model, we have to at least mention it, and that's finally some decent cushion added to a Steph Curry shoe. Imagine the same silent but grippy flow also, adding a little bit of a foamy effect to it. Core feel isn't sacrificed much, but you can finally get a nice feedback underneath, which I liked. Nike Jkei 3, maybe the most polarizing shoe this year. If you're a wide footer, heavy player, someone who plays a lot on outdoor courts, nope. If you don't fall into any of those categories, this could be that one best choice for you. Much better than the Jkei 1 and Jkei 2, based on my experience. Liren JB4, those 3 you can consider them to be guard shoes. The JBs are strong, kind of tanky, and hard. Almost too hard, especially the upper. I had a big blister on my pinky toe from wearing it. But traction is top tier. Responsiveness is high up there. I just wish it's less restraining or didn't hurt around the corners. Then we have one that came out all the way back in early February, around the All-Star weekend, GT 3 Turbo. I thought Nike did a great job making the Turbo more secure than the original GT 3. Zoom X is very delicious on it. A really bouncy shoe at a minimum weight. So you probably feel much faster playing in these versus the JB4. And that's why I have it just a little higher. But with so many amazing releases later in the year, you'll see, this is where I have it at year end. Okay, starting off at number 10, a bit of a wild card due to availability. But this is just a no BS, easy to use, fun to use shoe for both indoors and outdoors. Adidas XENOBURST. First off, they're using Light Strike Pro and Dream Strike on it. Definitely not a brick. I can feel a nice push from the midsole. They're roomy and wide foot friendly, but luckily not much heel slippage. Much lighter than the majority of other Adidas basketball shoes. Traction is excellent. Their Adiwear also is very durable for outdoor use. I can confirm that. In terms of what this shoe reminded me of, I don't know if anybody remembers the Son of Shai 3.0, the D-Rose shoe at the very end of his career. That was a good one. This is unfortunately not sold in North America, but Kicksown.com carries this shoe at a decent price, so not entirely nowhere to be found. One of my personal favorites this year, maybe the most underrated hoop shoe too. I strongly recommend the XENOBURST. Next up at number 9, I have the Puma All Pro Nitro 2. Their original All Pro Nitro was a success. The 2 has a sharper form, I'm referring to the upper, but it kept that dual density nitro foam setup. A decent amount of compression in the heel. 4-foot cushion is sufficient. You can feel the boing boing effect on feet. Bounciest shoe from the brand. Compared to their MB5, let's say, there's none of that mushiness, so not too soft and flimsy. I would describe it as a pretty aggressive shoe. If you're looking for a bouncy option to match a more explosive playing style, yes. Downside, kind of pointy around the toe box. Might be too narrow. So as long as you don't have very wide feet, this could be your weapon of choice. And before we finish on it, I just want to remind you once again when it comes to Puma basketball shoes, always go for the translucent outsole. The specific colorway you get might make a difference. Traction on their translucent outsole has consistently outperformed solid rubber. Please keep that in mind. Now here's one that climbed up on my list. One, the more I played in it. Two, there's a new version of it that came out very recently that I enjoyed even more. And that is the All City 13 Encore from Wave. A little bit more secure than the regular version. Full length boom in 2 layers. A lot of colorways have a strap on it, but after getting the lavender pair without the strap, I was totally in love with it. Amazing step-in comfort. That's the shortest way to put it. For some reason, I feel like traction is actually better on the Encore. This time it's just Tough RB versus the half GCU, half Tough RB on the regular All City 13. In this case, better off going with simplicity on the outsole. So yeah, extremely grippy, very squeaky. I think this is a shoe that you really grow into the more you play in it. Slightly better core feel, a tiny bit more stable, and more comfortable than the Pro Nitro 2 in my opinion. Nothing fancy, but good enough to be placed at number 8 here throughout the year. Moving on, I have a shoe that is quite different from those low to the ground, low top guard shoes that are flooding the market nowadays. Quite the opposite actually. I'm talking about the New Balance Fresh Foam BB V3. I say that because you feel high off the ground, pretty elevated. However, compared to shoes like the BioSpeed BB from 361 Degrees and Shockwave 7 this year, it doesn't get to a point where it's unstable. Just take some time to get used to how it feels. Super delicious when you press down on the foam. That's juicy. Shock absorption is top notch from that combination of Fresh Foam X and Fuel Cell. Excellent impact protection, so you can land safely. Well padded on the interior, that helps too. Your feet are basically hugged nicely inside. Even if you got some big body weight, bad knees, no problems whatsoever. Traction is top tier as well. That's been the case on the entire series, from the Fresh Foam BB 1 to 3. New Balance technically only made this one new shoe this year. Two-way V6, Hezi Low V3, Kawhi 5. What are y'all doing over there? Like, I'm ready to pay. They're just not making them. At number 6, we go back to a low top guard shoe. And this is just such a complete package that it might even be too low at this position. Liren 6. Wearing these, you can be in full attack mode. We don't even have to bring up the traction performance. That's guaranteed to be great on the Lirens. On the 6, they introduced this Penta S thing, a small piece of plate inserted near the forefoot. The caging pattern surrounding the heel is executed perfectly. Not too much. A perfect balance between softness and protection. Better than the 5V2. Yes, I think so. That one is too bottom heavy. Better than the 5 or 5 low. My take is that they focus entirely on bounciness for the 5. That shoe is basically a jumping pad. This is still very bouncy, but again, everything feels more balanced, and stability might have taken a slight edge here. By the way, I'm running a giveaway for the Liren 6 right now on Instagram. Feel free to check it out and enter. Best of luck to everybody. It really is a fantastic performer that can work well for anybody. Into the top 5 now. I lowered this one slightly, but it is my favorite shoe of the year. I guess before the Tatum 4 came out. Well, the Tatum's durability still sucks. So I'm sticking to my beloved Luka Force. As a consumer, there's no requirement on the shoe for me to be able to fully enjoy it. Does that make sense? I could be a beginner. I could be a seasoned pickup player who still sucks. I could be a guy who's played in more than 70 pairs of different shoes this year. I could be an elite player. Actually, I couldn't. The Luka 4 is easy to use, gets the job done. It isn't picky when it comes to your foot shape. Wide and flat, you can get a good ride out of it. Doesn't take a long time to break in either. Lost some weight compared to the Luka 3, which is key. Traction is equally as good on the solid rubber and translucent outsole. Cushion is pretty plain on paper, especially among the star-studded lineup for this list, but I could feel a quick snap in my movements. Hey, if I keep wanting to go back and hit that again, that means something, right? Next, this shoe is so good. So good that I probably mentioned it too many times this year, but what can I say? Best of its own series, best of its price point, and that is the 808.5 Ultra V2 from Wave. The key part about this shoe, Super Boom, has completely taken over and changed the game. I normally don't even like drop-in midsole shoes, but it really shocked me when I found out that they could give us a piece of art like this that is so light, soft and comfy, and also super bouncy all at the same time. Huge weight reduction from the previous 808 models. Well, bounciness went up. That's crazy. I'm gonna say the difference between the V1 and V2 is minimal, but the upper on the V2 is more secure and a little bit more supportive. Better reinforcement on the toe box, even though the tongue's gonna feel kind of weird to be honest. The benefit is that you won't have a plasticky feeling when the upper starts folding awkwardly. That eliminates the potential pinching issue. So 808.5 Ultra V2 beats the Luka 4. Super Boom is unmatched. They've been cooking with all these dope colorways too. Coming in at number 3, surprise maybe? Well, we haven't had an Adidas shoe so high at the end of the year in a while. Down issue 7. This shoe is all that the Converse Jkei 1 wants to be, but failed to be. The zipper shroud didn't add or deduct any points. Upper creases a lot less than the Jkei's. Light Strike Pro, springy and responsive. It's still a 2-part outsole design, but you won't feel disconnected in the midfoot section this time. Smooth transition from front to back. Traction has been nearly perfect for me on dusty courts. And the best part, it really didn't pick up too much dust. This year's down issues also have that hardened vibe, but in reality, they're a lot lighter than they look. More than 50 grams lighter than the hardened volume 9 and volume 10. You feel fast and safe at the same time. This is one of those types of shoes that almost urges you to increase your pace. Very impressive, the down issue 7. Good for guards and bigs. Wide foot friendly too. Pretty spacious in the midfoot. At second place this year, well, we might have to do 1 and 2 interchangeably. I was going back and forth between these two, and they are without a doubt the 2 best performers released in 2025. Okay, second place. Remember 2025 is the year of Super Boom, and I have the Wave 12. If you thought the Super Boom drop-in missile was already insane on the 808.5, this is double layered Super Boom right here. Main benefit of this missile, lower density foam, so weight is controlled at a minimum, while you get a lot of bounce under your steps. Stepping on a cloud for sure. Regarding the upper material, here's how I like to describe it. Sounds crazy, I know. We've had plenty of bouncy shoes, but have you heard of a bouncy upper? It not only conforms to your movements really well, surprisingly also doesn't crease much. It bounces back in shape after you bend it. And this thermoplastic material has such a soft and buttery smooth touch to it. I think the word premium certainly applies here. Excellent traction. That's almost given at this point coming from Wave. So let me just explain which tiny factors put the next shoe on top. First place, I think some of you might have seen it coming already. Joker 1 GT from 361 Degrees. These are the Jkei shoes. With him rocking them on a nightly basis for the past year or so, that's functionality signed off for bigs. This GT version has a much more forgiving fit, lower cut, more comfortable in general. Guards can use it too, why not? Most importantly, 10 out of 10 cushion and traction. This and the Wild 12, both shoes don't use traditional rubber. The Joker 1 GT does better against dust pickup. This also stays immaculate, even on dusty courts, whereas you probably need to wipe from time to time in the Wave 12. It's also just a tiny bit more stable around the heel. That's it. Wave 12 is more smoothly carved out in shape, so it has its own advantage too. And this cushion, you might not believe me until you've tried it. Man, you feel like you're teleporting out there. This is just a whole other experience. Hella bouncy. I remember calling this the best basketball shoe of the year when I first got it back in March. Yep, Wave 12 was the only one that even came close. But in the end, this still beats them all. Once again, Joker 1 GT, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so that was my final top 10 list this year. 2025 was absolutely packed. Joker 1 GT, Wave 12, 808.5, these are some all-time performers. Down issue 7 came out of nowhere. Luka 4, I have 6-7 pairs now. I'm pretty sure these ones are all available on the market. Some of them are on sale for pretty good prices. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your continuous support. Giving me feedback and suggestions means a lot to me. Wishing everyone a happy holiday season. Lots of food, lots of action, lots of new shoes. But we're not done though. More recaps to come. So I'll see you soon on this one.